Hello everyone and welcome back to Tinderlost Gaming, or welcome to Tinderlost Gaming if this is your first sway over onto the channel. This is episode 7 of my playthrough of the Drowned City campaign for Arkham Horror LCG. I think we're getting there. I think we are nearing the end. I don't know. This is a completely blind playthrough. There could be another 20 scenarios. I've got no idea. But I think we are getting towards the end. Anyway, enough of me rabbiting on in the intro bit. Let's get across to the table to see what the heck is going on. And there is a lot going on. Don't worry, this part of the intro, and I will put a timestamp for those that just want to get straight to the gameplay. There'll be a timestamp there so you can click through to that and get straight on with me playing the game. But if those want to have a look at the setup and what we're playing and all that sort of stuff, then this is the bit. Apologies for the glare on some of the cards. This is a fairly largish map, lots going on. And with getting the lighting right for the main part of the table, there's a bit of glare. I can't do anything about that with the sleeves on the card, so apologies for that. Doing the best I can with this setup. So, before we get into the actual scenario we're playing, which is Obsidian Canyons, we've got some housekeeping to undertake. First of all is my usual disclaimer that I will make mistakes in this scenario. I play on my own, play for fun, lots going on, loads of cards out. I'm going to miss stuff. I am going to, misremember a rule, not read the whole card. I do my level best to not make any mistakes, but when you're playing for sort of 2.5, 3 hours, there's going to be mistakes. So apologies for that in advance. They're not intentional. And like I say, I'm just here in my back cave having a bit of fun. So when we last left Agatha and Michael, wasn't a particularly great ending for them. I'm not going to spoil it for those that haven't watched it, but go away and watch episode 6 and we'll see what was come of that. But we did have some XP to spend. Agatha had a mighty 7 to spend, I believe, if memory served me correctly. Yeah, 7, and Michael had 6 XP to spend. Now let's start with Agatha first of all. And I think I'm probably coming late to the party, and certainly for my next playthrough, when I do the Drowned City again, probably play it a slightly different way. But obviously agility in this in this campaign is pretty high on as a good skill to have. So what I've done, backpack is useful for trying to get the ocular. Hasn't worked for me yet in any of the games I've played. Feels like when it's in my hand, it's a little bit of a waste. I could be playing her wrong, but I'm swapping out 2 backpacks and I'm putting in 2 level 1 hiking boots. Hiking boots is no slot to it, but it's item, clothing, footwear. 1 footwear per investigator. We get +1 agility, so that takes her to agility 4. But also, after the last clue is discovered from your location, exhaust hiking boots, move to a connecting location with at least 1 clue, or to a connecting unrevealed location. So again, 2 things there really: action compression and more agility. So I should have put those in earlier. Don't know why I didn't, but 2 copies of that. Also, a bit like backpack, higher education doesn't really feel like it's doing a lot of heavy lifting in this particular deck for Agatha. She seems to be a bit resource hungry. And, to be honest with you, I don't really think there's been many times I've had more than 5 cards in my hand. So higher education's coming out. And I wanted Agatha to be a little bit more self-sufficient. Sometimes she's getting caught on the hop with an enemy that Michael can't deal with, and Michael can deal with most enemies. But I wanted her to have something in her back pocket. So I put 2 level 2 I've got a plan in. It's also an insight, which works with her special ability. Fight, it uses her intellect instead of a fight, so she would be fighting at 4, which is brilliant. You get +2 for this test, so she'll be fighting at 6. And also, more importantly, I don't know why I haven't put this in before, but then it's 2 XP per card. You deal +1 damage to this attack for each clue you have, maximum of +3 damage. So she could be hitting an enemy for 4 with one of these. So those are going in for Agatha. I will shuffle these cards up, but they're going to go in on the top of her deck there, like that. Michael, what has Michael got? He is getting very low on sanity because of various reasons. He's now starting off sanity 4, which is not great. So I've taken some action to try and address that. First of all, I'm taking out 2 copies of Where the Party Is. Where's the Party? And they're gonna go, and I'm gonna put in a classic, or 2 classics actually, an Elder Sign Amulet, which is 4 sanity soak on it. I mean, that unfortunately does take the slot for the lucky cigarette case, but in a pinch, having an additional 4 sanity is going to be good. Charisma, he's got 4 allies, or 2 copies of 2 allies, plus Ruby Standish. So I put Charisma in there, which means we get an additional ally slot. Thinking behind that again is both the allies for Michael are pretty decent with their abilities, but also more sanity soak as well. So Charisma's a permanent, so that comes into play there. And obviously Elder Sign Amulet will go into the deck. I mean, there we go. That's my thinking behind those upgrades. Good, bad, or indifferent, let me know in the comments. Okay, what is going on here? Now, let's read the Obsidian Canyons part in the book. So we headed west, so we're going to read 1. It says, "Am I dreaming?" Andy looks out at the horizon. Ethereal shapes coalesce and then dissipate in the mists below. In the distance, you see obsidian gates where you made landfall. You see the obsidian gates where you made landfall. The wide expanse between you and it filled with mind-bending spires and poisonous green mist. Andy curses as he dumps water out of his camera bag. Mr. Tillinghast assured me this bag was airtight. I told him all I wanted was pictures. Maybe a book deal, and now it's all ruined. Skip to Obsidian Canyons 3. The alien city sprawls for miles. Chunks of broken spires are suspended in the air above collapsed towers, and colourful reefs hang from the undersides of ancient bridges. Decaying wrecks of ancient ships lean precariously atop the obsidian spires, swaying gently. You and your companions stare in awe at the unbelievable landscape. A gale-forced wind nearly sweeps you off your feet. You steady yourself and look to the south to see dark, angry storm clouds crackling with green energy. The breeze reaches a howling crescendo, then suddenly dies down. The landscape below seems to rearrange as miasmic clouds bend and swirl. Your head swims. When you look back at the horizon, the skyline has changed entirely. If any of your investigators have the dreams of destruction or prove your worth tasks, they resolve them now. No, we don't have those. And we headed west, so we're going to go into Setup version 1, Western Expedition. So, it says, gather all cards from the following encounter sets: Obsidian Canyons, Cosmic Legacy, Elder Mist, The Inescapable, Rylea, Starspawn, Ancient Evils, Chilling Cold, Night Gaunts, and Striking Fear. And that's where you've got the icons there. Set all 14 cards in the Ancient Evils, Chilling Cold, and Striking Fear encounters set aside out of play as, in quotes, Open Sky. See Open Sky on page 34. Well, shall we read that now? Let's read that now. Page 34. Open Sky. Throughout this scenario, you will be instructed to place open sky cards by taking the encounter cards gathered during setup and placing them in indicated positions face down. Open sky counts as a location for the purposes of card effects, location adjacency, and for determining the distance between locations. Investigators cannot move into open sky unless otherwise indicated by scenario effects. Open sky cannot be investigated and clues cannot be dropped on it. If a clue would be dropped or placed on open sky for any reason, the investigators must choose the nearest revealed location and place that clue on it instead. Locations can enter play in a position occupied by an open sky card. Should this happen, the open sky card occupying the position leaves play. If open sky leaves play for any reason, place it on top of the summit deck. Do not place it in the encounter discard pile. All enemies, tokens and attachments at that open sky are discarded. Okay, this has to be, I have to say, I've been putting this together now for an hour or so. One of the most complicated setups I've come across, and I'm still not sure on one bit of it. So, is my view on this one at the minute, but let's give it a go. Gather each location in the Obsidian Canyons encounter set, which is what I've done. Remove Ancient Dome from the game, which is what I've done over here. There's Ancient Dome. I'll get these cards out as well because we'll need to go through those. Set Rylea Streets, Central Spire, Floating Spire, Aerial Waterfall, Glythothery, and Western Wall outside, out of play. I think that's what these are. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the Glyph, Western Wall, Aerial, Floating Spire. Shuffle the remaining summit locations into a separate deck, unrevealed side face up. This is the summit deck. That's what this thing is over here. This is the summit deck. Page 34 tells us what we're going to be doing. It's the summit deck and sliding locations. During this scenario, locations in open sky will enter and leave play via the summit deck. This deck is composed of summit location cards as well as single-sided open sky cards. Cards are always drawn from the bottom of the summit deck. Encounter cards from the summit deck are always placed face down, unrevealed side face up if they are locations. If a gap between locations and or open sky is created for any reason and not immediately filled via scenario card instructions, fill that gap with the bottom card of the summit deck, face down if it's an encounter card or unrevealed side face up if it's a location. Investigators may be instructed to slide rows to the left or right. To do so, slide each card in that row, locations and open sky, once in the indicated direction. Each card and token at those locations stroke open sky move as well. Any cards that move outside of the established columns are placed on top of the summit deck. Some locations cannot be moved. If instructed to slide cards in a row and there is a location in that row that cannot be moved, leave that location in its place and skip it, moving the card that will enter its space into the nearest gap created. Okay, so that's that. Put Rylea Streets into play along with the 4 set-aside open sky cards according to the location placement for Act 1 on page 35. That's what I did. So you can see that a little bit. So you've got 3 rows, 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, Rylea Street starts here, and then you've got 4 open sky locations there. I'll come back to these summit ones in a second, but that's how I done it. All right, so that's your open sky. Fill each empty space in the diagram with the bottom card of the summit deck and to the right of Rylea streets until there are 3 rows and 4 columns. So what I did is I mixed all these up and then I've randomly put them out in the gaps to create the 3x4 grid. Shuffle the central spire into the top 3 cards of the summit deck, which is what I've done here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in the summit deck currently. Each investigator begins play at Rylea Streets, which is where we are there. Build the act and agenda using 1A encroaching storms, which is what that is. And that's agenda 1A, sorry. And 1A scouring spires, deadly skies, and return to the shoreline. Those are those 3 there. Place 1 resource on the scenario reference card under storm intensity, which is what I've done here. I'm going to just use the dice, that's on 1. Shuffle each enemy for the star spawn encounter set and remove 2 random retrievers in the game, which is what I did. These are the 2 remaining star spawn, which I've got 4 in the encounter deck. 2 in the encounter deck. Set the double-sided Sky Relic story asset, Eroded Freeze Treachery, and the Obsidian Claws story asset aside out of play, which is, where are we? These ones? Oh no, it's these ones here, sorry. Sky Relic, Obsidian Claw, and Eroded Freeze. They're set aside out of play. Check your campaign log. If the creature was defeated, we removed the inescapable. Yeah, well, we've cleared that, so we've removed that from the game. In player order, choose 1 artifact or 1 item. Well, I've stuck with Expedition Gear and Ruby Standage. So we're all good for that. Shuffle the remaining encounter cards to build the encounter deck. We've done. You are now ready to begin. So that's all fine and dandy, but, and I've just read it through with you guys and girls, listening to every single word I've said on the setup. Oh, there's a couple of things that I haven't read. So storm intensity. Throughout this scenario, the number of resources under storm intensity on the scenario reference card indicates the strength of the otherworldly gales of Rylea. The higher the storm intensity, the more hazardous the weather. Storm intensity has no inherent game effect on its own. However, some scenario effects may change or become stronger depending on the current level of storm intensity. So intensity, while at the moment it's obviously going to go up, stuff's going to happen. Location adjacency in this scenario. During this scenario, locations are arranged in a set grid pattern. Each location is connected to each location adjacent to it. Adjacent locations are left, right, above and below. They are not by corner. So it's standard LCG, Arkham LCG. You can't connect by the corner, but you can connect left and right. My issue is, so I was told to put aside the Ancient Evils, Chilling Cold, and Striking Fear, which is this is this open sky stuff here. And I don't think I'm ever going to turn these over. I don't think, but I might do, I suppose. But so it doesn't. So I take it these are just a separate deck, an open sky deck, but it doesn't say anything about an open sky deck. You've got the Summit deck. Summit deck. So it says here, encounter cards from the summit deck are always placed face down, unrevealed side face if they're locations. But nowhere in the setup is it telling me to combine these two decks, the summit deck and the open skies. It doesn't. So I'm going to just play it as written. I might have missed something. I might be, you might tell me to do something later on, and I don't really want to mix those in together if I don't need to. Not shouldn't do. So that's the way I'm playing it. Yeah, I suppose this is one of the first times where, well, let's see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out. I'm a bit worried that there's going to be a lot of stuff moving, but I'm being too harsh. As ever, I haven't played this scenario yet at all. This is a completely blind playthrough. I don't know anything about it other than what you guys and girls already know from me. Stop ranting, MB. Stop ranting and let's crack on. So, final little bits of setup, nearly, what are we now, 21 minutes in. What are we actually doing? Well, the agenda 1A. That says, the clouds around Rylea crackle with alien energy as a storm picks up. Each non-weakness enemy may enter or leave open sky as if it was a location. Each location is connected to each location and open sky adjacent to it. When an investigator's location would leave play, move that investigator to any central location. They take 2 direct damage. The Rylea Gates is a central location and it can't be moved or leave play, and comes in with 6 clues on it. Sorry, I'm pointing at it and not underneath the card. And it's got an action on it. Spend 1 to 3 resources, place that many clues from the token pool on any revealed location, limit once per round. Then we've got Act 1, Scouring the Spires. The alien skyline calls to you, brimming with ancient secrets. Action, spend X clues, reveal X cards from the bottom of the summit deck. You may put one revealed location into play in an adjacent open sky and move to it. Place that open sky card and each other revealed card on top of the summit deck in any order. Objective, if each surviving investigator is at Central Spire, advance. Okay. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to go with the Central Spire, and we know it's in the top 3 of the summit deck because that's where we've shuffled it in, and there are 8 cards in that summit deck. We've got our good money for Michael. We've got our Plumb the Depths for Agatha. We've got our black market deck for Michael. I think we're going to be good to go. I'm going to have a quick breather and then I'm going to come back. We're going to do some shuffling. Oh, hang on a sec. We've got this thing as well. Eastern Winds is what it's on. It says, that should have been in the setup actually. Did I miss that? Did I miss that? Oh yeah, I did. Find the double-sided Eastern Winds story card and put it into play. Eastern Winds face up. Sorry, I missed that. A nervous wind blows from the eastern skies. Forced. When the round ends, reveal tokens from the chaos bag equal to the storm's intensity. So at the moment it will just be 1. If a non-elder sign symbol is from the token is revealed, shuffle the leftmost open sky summit locations in rows 1 and 3 and place them on top of the summit deck, or place them in the victory display instead if they have a victory X and no clues on them. Each enemy token and attachment at those locations, open skies, are discarded. Ooh. Slide each open sky and summit location in rows 1 and 3 once to the left. Place the bottom card of the summit deck in each gap filled. Flip this card. So I would assume Western is going to be going right. So I need to remember that. And there we go. I think that's it for setup. Half an hour later, 25 minutes, we're all good. So like I say, quick breather, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to shuffle on screen, get our things ready, and then we're going to have a go at Obsidian Canyons. See how we get on. Cheers. Right, here we go. Let's get some shuffling done. I have shuffled these off screen, but we will, as per contractually obliged, shuffle whilst on screen. And we need to do at least one cat weasel cut. So there we go. It's a bit squashed. It's a bit squashed, this one. Oh, there we go. There's the contractual drop. That's completed. Done. Michael. And then finally, his underworld deck, his underworld market. There we go. Ready to begin. Let's draw our opening hand of 5 for Agatha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously looking for the Akula. Promise of Power, Spectral Shield, Eyes of the Dreamer, Art Student, and Crack the Case. I think I'm going to ditch all of those 4. We'll keep Art Student. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have got Eyes of the Dreamer, Shortcut, I've Got a Plan, and Andy Northwick. Okay. We can sort of live with that. No fingerprint kit, which is a bit disappointing. God. There's another shuffle. This could be a long game. I think there's going to be lots of, obviously, movement shenanigans that's going to eat into time. So get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. We could be in for a long ride. And then we've got 5 for Michael. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't do his underworld deck at the moment. So we've got a Joey the Rat. We've got a Crack Shot. We've got an Overpower. We've got a Swift Reflexes. And we've got a Heavy Furs. I think I'll keep Joey the Rat. Obviously, really mainly for a bit of health and sanity sank, especially with sanity 4. Don't really think I need those 4 at the moment. So we'll draw another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got a Robert. We've got another Robert. We've got a Quick Thinking, and we've got an automatic. Very nice. That's not too bad, actually. Doesn't really mean we have to be going sinking for a... Okay. Here we go. Michael is the lead investigator as per normal. Let's start off I think I'm going to pay first action, pay 2. Down, we'll put an art student down. After she enters play, we discover a clue. So we'll grab a clue off of there. Second action. I'm thinking, do I... Second action, pay 3 to play an Eyes of the Dreamer. Comes in with 9 charges on it, so we'll use a little dice. We'll use a D10. If I can find a 9. That's a 6. That's a 9. Third action. We'll have a go at standard investigate. We are 4 versus 2. I don't really feel I need to use Eyes of the Dreamer yet. Standard 4 versus 2. 0. We're all good. Where can I put that? Put that up there. We get another clue. That's Agatha. Done. Michael. He's got some expensive stuff. I think first action. Oh, no. Underworld deck. Top 2 cards. We've got a fence and we've got an automatic. I will pay 1 to take the fence. Automatic. 25 automatic goes to the bottom. I think that's just changed what I'm going to do. I do like fence. So first action, pay 3. So I'm down to 1 to play the fence. And then I think second 2 actions are going to be to gain 2 resources. So I go up to 3. There we go. That's it. Enemy phase. There are no enemies in play. Upkeep phase. We reset our actions. Agatha gains a resource up to 1. Michael gains a resource up to 4. Michael draws a card. He gets contraband. Agatha draws a card. She gets the mouse mask. Very nice. Now, we check our hand size. We're all good. Nowhere near 8. And then at the end of the round, we've got Eastern Winds. So forced. When the round ends, reveal tokens from the Chaos bag equal to the storm intensity. It's 1 at the moment. So we're going to draw. All right, there we go. We're going to draw. So that is a non-Elder Sign symbol. Shuffle the leftmost open sky summit locations in row 1 and 3 and place them on the top of the summit deck. Shuffle, that's a bit of a weird. The leftmost, so in row 1, that's going to be this one. And in row 3, that's going to be that one. Shuffle. Shuffle. How can you shuffle 2 cards? I'm just going to look away and then put that on there. We didn't look for victory because obviously we hadn't turned any over. Slide each open sky and summit location in rows 1 and 3 once to the left. So that's going to go there. 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 Place the bottom card of the summit deck in each gap created. So we'll do the top, which is going to be that one and that one there. So we know 2 cards have come out of the summit deck of 8. Flip this card. Western Wings. It's exactly the same thing, I think, but we go right and it's rows 2 and 4. There is no 4. Okay. Oh, should have flipped these over. Top of the Mythos phase, we place a Doom on the agenda, 1 of 3. We draw a card. Agatha is going to get Cunning Mimicry. If there are no monster enemies in play, Cunning Mimicry gains Surge. So that's going to go there. Can't see it, but it's off on a discard pile. And she's going to get Primeval Terror. Patrol nearest empty summit location. Fight 2, 2 health, 2 to evade. Cannot make attacks of opportunity. Very nice. While engaged with this enemy, you may enter open sky as if it were location. If you defeat or disengage from this enemy while at open sky, you are defeated and suffer 1 physical trauma. Okay, so that's Agatha's Primeval Terror. And Michael is going to get Primeval Terror. Right. I did shuffle those. You saw me shuffle them, but there we go. 2 Primeval Terrors in play. We come back round to the investigator phase. Well, I'm glad that Agatha's I've got a plan. It does cost her 2. First action from Agatha is to gain a resource. She's up to 2. Primeval Terror cannot make attacks of opportunity. Second action, I've got a plan using our intellect. So we get +2 for this. So we are 6 versus 2. 6 versus 2. And for each attack, for each clue, you have +3 damage. We've got 2 clues. So this would be doing 3 damage. 6 versus 2. -2. We're all good. We do 3 damage to it. We kill it. Didn't need to use Eyes of the Dreamer there, but now I've got a plan in our discard pile. Second action, or third action. Nope, I spent my 2 to do that. Third action, we'll investigate. 3 versus 2. Sorry, 4 versus 2. 4 versus 2. -1. We get it. Get a clue. Michael. First action. Oh, no. Hang on a sec. Underworld deck. 2 cards. We've got the Derringer. Or we've got the Chicago Typewriter. No. We won't. Right. First action. Spend 4. Put the automatic into play. No attacks of opportunity from the Primeval Terror. Comes in with 4 ammo. Second action. Fight using the automatic. We get a resource, Michael's ability. We're now 6 versus 2. We'll play quick thinking to make it 7 versus 2. Seven versus 2. +1. 8 versus 2. We do 2 damage to it. Kills it. Quick thinking, if we're successful by 2 or more after it resolves, you may immediately take an action as if it's your turn. So I'll go back down to 1 act. We've only taken 1 action so far. So we've still got 2 actions left. And I think just to get myself into some a decent spot, I'm going to take those 2 actions to gain 2 resources, so back up to 3. That's them both done. We go to the enemy phase. There are no enemies. We go to the upkeep phase. We get our actions back. Agatha gains a resource up to 1. Michael gains a resource up to 4. He draws a card. He gets Liquid Courage. And Agatha gets Promise of Power. End of the phase. Western wins. So we do draw a card. Storm intensity is still 1. No Elder Sign, so we are going to do it. Shuffle the rightmost Open Sky Summit on rows 2 and 4. Well, there is no 4, but there is 2. Rightmost, that goes onto the top of the summit deck. Those go to the right. And then the bottommost card comes off. Flip this card. We've taken 3 cards off the summit deck now. We were 8. Okay. Mythos. 2 onto the agenda, 2 of 3. Agatha's going to draw a card. She's got crumbling masonry. We've seen that before. That's an agility test. It's the location shroud, so that's 2. So it's 2 versus 3. 2 versus 3. I don't really want to take 2 damage. Don't really need shortcut. So I'll make it 4. I'll play a shortcut to make it 4 versus 2. 4 versus 2. 4 versus 2. -2 or better. Ooh. That is -2. If there is an enemy at your location, reveal another token. There's no enemy, so -2, it's a draw, so we are successful. Shortcut goes into our pile. That goes to the discard pile. Michael's card. Acrophobia. Test will 1. This test gets +1 difficulty for each open sky adjacent to your location. So no open skies adjacent to our location. That isn't adjacent. So it's 1 versus 3. For each point you fail by, you must either lose an action or take 1 horror. So 1 versus 3. We're 2 up. We'll stick with that. 2 up. Cultist, -4. So we fail by 2. And if the test fails, place 1 doom on the nearest enemy. There are no enemies in play, but we do fail by 2. I can't take 2 horror. Well, like, 1 horror can go onto Ruby and I'll lose 1 action. Okay. And investigator's phase. Do I want to start moving? Or do I want to continue to hoover the clues? Well, we know, I know that the central spire is probably not out yet because we've only put 3 out and it was 8 in total and it was in the top 3. What I'm thinking about is where the central spire was. It was when we done the setup, it told us to shuffle it into the top 3 cards of the summit deck. And then there was 8 cards in that deck total. We've put 3 out, so we've got 5. The bottom 5, it'll be in the bottom 5 somewhere. So we know that's not out at the moment. But do we want to? Being one agenda is a bit. Yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen there. Anyway, that's for me to think about in a bit. Do we want to get the last 3 clues off this Rilea Gates Streets? And then we've got loads of clues to start spending on scouring the spires. Well, let's think about this. Let's think about this because we can spend X clues. We've got 3 clues. If we get 2 clues now, well, that would have 5 clues, which means we could reveal. No, I'm going to leave it another turn. There's a reason. Right, so Agatha first. She's going to investigate. She's 4 versus 2. Four versus 2. -4. That's a fail. Blimey. Okay. Second action. She'll use Eyes of the Dreamer to investigate. Use your will instead of your intellect for this test. Before revealing chaos tokens for this test, you may spend up to 3 charges to reveal that many additional chaos tokens. Choose one of the revealed tokens to resolve and ignore the rest. If you succeed and the chosen token matches an ignored token, discover 1 additional clue at your location. I've never done this, so I'm going to use 3. So I'm going to take it down to 6 just to see how this thing works. So I'm going to be revealing 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. We've got, oh, that shouldn't be in there. 1, 2, 3. I will choose the -2. And I'll ignore the rest. We don't ignore, they're not the same, so we succeed. We are 4 versus 2, -2, we succeed. Only just though. We get a clue. Third action. We have ignored a token this turn. So I'm going to do another 3. Down to 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. -1, -4, +1. Well, we'll take the +1. We'll ignore the -1 and the -4. But we don't manage to get the same token, so we get a final clue. Well, not the final clue, but 5 clues. That's Agatha done. Michael. I think I'm going to spend 4. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We are going to do his Underworld deck first of all. We have got his Derringer. Oh, we've got the Viola case. Oh, that changes things a little bit. Or does it? Nope, not at this time. I'm going to carry on doing what I was going to do. So first action, spend 4 to play Contraband. Choose an asset controlled by an investigator at your location. Double the number of ammo or supply tokens. So I wanted to do this early on, so I've now got 6 on the automatic, which is quite nice. Second action, going to gain a resource. Third action, spend that resource to play Liquid Courage. Comes in with 4 supplies on it. But we can heal horror, which is quite important. That's Michael done. Enemy phase, no enemies in play. We go to upkeep, we go to our actions back. Agatha gets a resource up to 2. Michael gets a resource up to 1. Michael draws a card. He's got another automatic. Agatha draws a card. She's got a spectral shield. We're all good hand size. Michael's got 4. Agatha's got 1, 2, 3, 4. End of the round, we do Eastern Winds. So, we draw a card. Oh, sorry, we draw a token first of all. Elder Sign token. It's not, so we are going to do it. Shuffle the leftmost open sky summit locations in rows 1 and 3. So leftmost is this one here and this one here. Shuffle 2 cards. Oh, I'm not looking. Move them along. And then the bottom card. So this is card 4. And this is card 5. So hopefully, bottom 3. Flip this card. Go to the Mythos phase. We put 3 of 3 on there. We flip it over. Raging gales. There is more to this storm than just bad weather. As the gale howls around you, the alien landscape buckles and shifts before your very eyes, blurring your vision. When you regain focus, the skyline looks unfamiliar. If the current storm intensity is 6+, each surviving investigator is defeated and suffers 1 physical trauma. Otherwise, add 1 resource to the current storm intensity. So that goes up to 2. So we're going to move them 2 cards. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded and spawn it in the lead investigator's location. If the current storm intensity is 3 or less, that enemy enters play exhausted and unengaged. Flip this agenda. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. We're going to pump up to 6, which doesn't really give us a lot of time. So we discard until we get an enemy. Lost in the Clouds, Wings of Terror, Eyes of the Deep, Hunting Nightgaunt. That comes in exhausted at Rylea Streets. Then we actually draw our card. So Agatha's going to get Eyes of the Deep, put it into play into the threat area, treat each cultist and tablet token as if it was the Elder Sign. Test will 3 if you succeed, discard Eyes of the Deep. Okay. And then Michael is going to get On the Wings of Darkness. Test 4, agility 4. If you fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror. Then disengage from each Nightgaunt enemy and move to a central location. Well, we're already in a central location. Agility 4, that's going to be. I think I'm just going to. I'm keeping Joey the Rat. Because I think I'm going to fail anyway. So 4 versus 3 for me. 4 versus 3. -2. We do fail. We take 1 damage and 1 horror. Well, 1 damage will go on to Ruby. And we will take 1 horror down to 3. Ugh. Okay. Wings of Darkness is gone. We are back to the investigators phase. So I think the bottom 3 cards there . Right, let's start off with Agatha. She is going to move. Doesn't really make a lot of difference. She's going to move to this summit here. And it says when you would enter. Oh, hang on a sec. Let's just go back. At the end of the round, that haunting horror would ready. And let's engage it with Michael. Yeah, it doesn't say it doesn't ready. Exhausted and unengaged, but obviously once it readies in the upkeep phase. Oh no, we've gone past that. We'd gone past that. Apologies. That was done in the Mythos phase, so it wouldn't have readied yet. Okay, we'll get there in the end. So we'll start off with Agatha. Agatha's going to move across to the summit. And it says, when you would enter this location, if you do not control the obsidian claw, you must either spend one clue or test agility. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move. I'll spend the clue. I'll spend the clue. So that's our first action. Second action, we're going to do Scouring the Spire. Spend X clues, reveal X cards from the bottom of the summit deck. You may put one revealed location play. You may put one revealed location into play in an adjacent open sky or move to it. And move to it. Place that open sky card and each other reveal card on top. I think there's just the top three. I think we've done 5, but I'm going to spend 4 clues just to be on the safe side. Do I? Do I spend 4 clues or do I trust my maths? I'm spending 4. I'm going to spend 4. Oh my God, I've got no nails. Ah, there we go. Going to spend 4 to reveal the bottom 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I did get it wrong. It shouldn't have been, but there you go. There's the central spire, because it says reveal X cards. You may put one revealed location into play in adjacent. So I will in an adjacent open sky. So I'm going to put the central spire there. And then place the open sky and each other reveal card on top of the summit deck. I wish we should have revealed this one. So that's got 1 clue. After you reveal this location, test agility 1. If you fail, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a monster enemy and spawn it engaged with you. Action, put the set aside sky asset into play under your control. Ooh. Oh, what's that? What's the sky relic? Well, first of all, we've got to test agility 1, agility 3. I will play the spectral shield, which has got a wild icon to make me 4 versus 1. Minus X is the current storm intensity, so that's -2. 4 versus 1, we pass. Now, that was our second action. Our second action was to do Scouring the Spires. Now, that we've got 1 action left. So 1 action, we can get the Sky Relic asset. Or I can move to the central spire. Or I can move to the central spire. What's gone? Do I want the Sky Relic? Yes, I do. Third action. I'm going to take the Sky Relic, which is this thing here. If Sky Relic would leave play, remove it from the game. Action, test agility 8, double the skill icons of each card committed to this skill test. If you succeed, flip this card over and resolve its text. Got no idea what that is, but I want it. Did I flip Western Winds over at the end? I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. No, actually, because that's... No. I'm going to not do that. I'm not taking that. Give me my action back. I'm actually going to move into the central spire. And that's got 4 clues on it. Reason why I've done that is because Western Wings is going to slide row 2 next at the end of this turn. So Agatha would be down here and it's going right. So it all shifted down here. So didn't want to do that. So Michael's going to move into the Ancient Canyons for his first action. We need to chest agility 1. Agility 1. We are 3. I am going to chuck a Joey the Rat Vigil. We've got a agility icon. So I'm 4 versus 1. Oh, forgot to do something, but I'll do that in a sec. 4 versus 1. -2. If there's an enemy at your location, reveal another token. Well, there isn't because it's there. -2, we pass. First thing I need to do is the Underworld Market. 0.25 automatic or liquid courage. Those are 2 quite easy choices. We don't need those at the moment. That was his first action. Second action is to move into the central spire with Agatha. So we've completed Act 1. Objective, if each surviving investigator is at Central Spire, advance, which we are. Floating skyline. As the tower's apex, you see Rylea in total. Some ancient calamity levelled the city, sending a shockwave so strong that the twisted spires are bent like blades of grass. What could have caused such great destruction? Remove Rylea's streets from the game, ignoring its text box. Shuffle each open sky and summit location in play, except for Central Spire, into the summit deck. Each card and token at these locations is discarded. Put 5 of the set-aside open sky cards into play as shown in Act 2 of the location placement diagram in the campaign guide. Fill each remaining row and column above, below and to the right of the central spire with the bottom cards of the summit deck until there are 3 rows and 5 columns. Shuffle the set-aside floating spire and aerial waterfall location into the top 3 cards of the summit deck. Okay. Right. Pause here. I will do all of that, and then I'll come back. Obviously, that fella's going to go because Riley Streets has gone. But anyway, I'll sort it all out and I'll come back in a sec. Right, here we go. We're all set up. So now we've got 5 columns, 3 rows. These are not rows here. These are decks. We've put the open sky locations where we should have put them, and then we've filled the rest in with random cards. Well, not random, but from the bottom of the summit deck. So they're all random in there. Top 3 cards, we've shuffled in the top 2. We've shuffled in the floating spire and the other one. Our objective now is to get to the floating spire. So we know it's in the top 5 of those. So we'll shuffle it into the top 3. Okay, so that was Michael's second turn. So his third turn, his third action, is he's going to spend a liquid courage to heal 1 horror. And then he'll test will 3 against will 2. It's got nothing you can chuck in against it. 3 against 2. 3 against 2. -2. We don't get it, but we do get sanity back. So we're now at 4. That's it for Michael. Okay, enemy phase, no enemies in play. We go to the reset our actions. Agatha gets a resource up to 3. Michael gets a resource up to 2. He draws a card. He gets Opportunist. Agatha gets Eyes of the Dreamer. Check our hand size. We're all good. We go to the Mythos phase. We put 1 of 3. Ah, no, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. At the end of the round, we do Western Winds. We draw a token. So much going on. Be an Elder Sign. It's not an Elder Sign. It was -2. So, shuffle the rightmost card on 2 and 4. Well, we haven't got 4 in play at the moment. Rows 1, 2, and 3. So the rightmost card. Top of the summit deck. These all go to the right. And then we put a card from the bottom. Oh yeah, lovely. Brilliant. Flip this card. We've flipped to Eastern Winds. That's the end of the round. Top of the round, Mythos, 1 of 3. Agatha draws a card. She gets Hunting Night Gaunt. Oh, okay. Michael gets an Infected Star Spawn. Oh, right. Hunting Night Gaunt. Let's have a look at that first of all for Agatha. I'm rushing ahead here. So we've got 3 fight, 4 health, 1 to evade. Hunter. When attempting to evade Hunting Night Gaunt, double the negative modifier of each revealed chaos token. Hit me for 1 and 1. And then the Star Spawn for Michael is 2 fight, 3 health. Hunter, relentless prey, highest agility. Forced. The first time this enemy would be defeated, heal all damage from it and ready it. Oh God. When you reveal an elder thing token while fighting or evading, take 1 horror. Hit me for 1 horror. Oh God, that's a nightmare. That is a nightmare. Touche, game designers, touche. Okay. Agatha. Agatha. First action for Agatha, she's going to try and evade the Night Gauntlet. She's 3 versus 1. I am going to play a Promise of Power to make me 7 versus 1, but we do have to add a curse token into the bag. So we are 7 versus 1. -1 becomes a -2 because we double it. -2, 7 versus 1. We are successful. We evade it. We evade it. What was their first action? I think Agatha's going to have to leave Michael to crack on. Second action is going to be to investigate using Eyes of the Dreamer. I will spend all 3 to draw 3 tokens. We've got a -1, a -3, and a -2. We'll ignore the -3 and the -2. We'll take the -1. So we are 4 versus 3, -1, 3 versus 3. So we get our token, we get our clue. We have ignored the token this turn, so her special rule becomes online. I'm going to stay there. My third action, I'm going to gain a resource up to 4. Now, when her turn ends, if we sealed, cancelled or ignored one or more chaos tokens this round, we did. We can play a spell or insight event from her discard pile. After that event resolves, remove it from the game. We will spend 2 to I've got a plan against the infected Starspawn. It uses book instead of fight, so it's 4 versus 2. 6 versus 2 because we get +2. 6 versus 2, I think that's enough. Six versus 2. Minus X, which is the Stormwind's intensity, which is 2. So 6 versus 2 minus 2, we're successful. We do 1 damage plus 1 because we've got a clue. So we do 2 damage to the Starspawn. I've got a plan is removed from the game. That's it for Agatha. Michael. First is drawing top 2 cards of the deck. We've got the Thompsons, we've got the 2 Thompsons. No, haven't got the resources to pick those up yet, so that's going to go back. First action, shoot using the automatic. We get a resource. I will commit opportunist to it. So 5, 6, 7 against 2. 7 against 2. Seven against 2, minus 1, 6 against 2. We do 2 damage to it. But the first time this enemy would be defeated, heal all damage and ready it. So it doesn't die. It just heals all its damage. So I don't think the additional damage carries over because that was the packet that killed it. That's the way I'll play it anyway. We succeeded by 3 or more, so we can return opportunist to our hand. And then we will do the same thing. We don't get our resource because it's only once per round. So second action is to fight against the infected Starspawn. So 5, 6, opportunist is 7. 7 versus 2. 7 versus 2 plus 1. We do 2 damage to the Starspawn. We get opportunist back because we beat it by more than 3. Third action, fight using the automatic. Opportunist goes in. 7 versus 2. -3. 4 versus 2, which means we do win it, but Opportunist doesn't go back to our hand, unfortunately, because we didn't beat it by 3 or more. But we do enough to kill it. And that goes into our victory display, which we'll put just up here. Can't really see it. And that's it for Michael. Okay. Enemy phase. Hunting Nightgaunt is exhausted, so we don't need to worry about that. We move along to the upkeep phase. Agatha gets her actions back. Michael gets his actions back. Agatha goes to 3 resources. Michael goes to 4 resources. Michael draws a card. Accursed Follower. That on this location furthest away from you. Now, I think the open skies count as being locations. Open skies counts as locations for the purpose of card effects. Okay, that's simple. Accursed Follower's going to go here or here. Let's put him here so I can remember he's there. That is annoying. That is really annoying. Take that. Agatha's going to draw a card. She's got an emergency cash. We go to the Mythos phase. We put 1 of 2 of 3 on the agenda. We draw a card. Are we ready? And Hunting Nightgaunt, and we'll have it engage Michael. We draw a card for Agatha. Primeval Terror. And Michael's card, St. Elmo's Fire. Attach St. Elmo's Fire to the nearest location without St. Elmo's Fire. When the round ends, each investigator at this location takes 1 damage. Attach St. Elmo's Fire to an adjacent locations with investigators if able. So that's going to be attached to the central spire. Need to remember that. We go to the investigator phase. Okay. To start off, we're going to activate Michael first of all. Drawing his 2 cards from Underworld deck. We've got the Derringer and we've got the Automatic. We've got an Automatic in hand here, which is just a better weapon, I think. I mean, these are illicit, which means I get to play them for free, effectively. I mean, the Derringer's not too bad. Yeah, I think I'll take the Derringer for 1 resource. I'll pay my 3 resources to play the Derringer. Because of fence, it's fast. So the Derringer is going to come into play there. We'll put Night Gaunt there just so I know we're still engaged with it. That comes in with 3 ammo. Only got 2 hand slots, that's good. First action, shoot the Night Gaunt with the automatic. Oh no. Shoot the Night Gaunt with the Derringer. So 5, 6, 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3. We will chuck in a Robert, because we've got 2 of them, to make it 8 versus 3. Eight versus 3. -3. 5 versus 3. So we still beat it by 2 or more. So we do 2 damage to it. 1, 2. I think I'm going to shoot it with the automatic this time, because I am guaranteed the damage if I succeed. So it's 6 versus 3. I do get a resource because I've fired my firearm this round. 6 versus 3. Oh. -4. That was my second action. That's annoying. Third and final action. Oh, I should have used the Derringer. Because I only need 1. I only need 1. What am I doing? Misplay there. So I'll use the Derringer. Make it 7 versus 3. That was a misplay. 7 versus 3. -2. If there's an enemy at your location, reveal another token. 7 versus 3. So that's -3. 7 versus 3. We still pass. Ooh. Does 1 damage to the Night Gaunt, which is enough to kill it. Oh no, no it's not. No it's not. I'm sorry, I'll use the automatic. Sorry. Bleh. I knew there was a reason for doing that. Kill it. My mistake. That was a bit cheesy, but I'm going to take it. Okay, that's Michael done. I was hoping to engage the primeval terror. Not that it makes a lot of difference for Agatha, because it doesn't have attacks of opportunities. We need some clues. We need some clues. Gonna pay 3. First action. Gonna pay 3 to play an Eyes of the Dreamer. Don't know why I've done that, but there we go. Comes in with 9 charges on it. 9. Second action, we'll investigate using 3 of these down to 6. So 4 versus 3. 4 versus 3. Nothing I can do about that. But we are bringing out 3 tokens. 4 versus 3 with 3 tokens. We've got a -2. We've got that, and we've got that. No, none of those are successful. 4 versus 3. Damn it. Damn it. Nothing to play, really. Third action, spend 1 resource. No, I was down to 0. I can't do that. Let's go again. Down to 3. 4 versus 3 with 3 tokens. Oh my God, you're joking. Can't ignore any of those. They all fail. Into a bit of a roadblock. Okay. Enemy phase. Primeval Terror is going to hit Agatha for 2. So she's down to 4. We'll put 1 on the art student, which kills her, down to 5. Down to 5. That's the enemy phase. We've got nothing over here. We add a token to the deck, or to the mythos bag, because of a cursed follower. We go to the upkeep phase. Agatha gets her actions back. Michael gets his actions back. Agatha's up to 1 resource. Michael's up to 2 resources. Michael draws a card. Basically 2 weaknesses on the bounce. Parasitic transformation. After it engages you, place 1 doom. That's not too bad, because we're going to flip anyway. Agatha draws a card. She gets another art student. Timely. Now, at the end of the round, a couple of things happen. St. Elmo's fire. When the round ends, each investigator takes 1 damage. So Agatha's down to 4. Michael's down to 7. Boom, boom. Attach St. Elmo's fire to an adjacent location with investigators if able. So this does count as a location for card effects. So I'm going to put it there. When the round ends, each investigator at this location takes 1 damage. Attach St. Elmo's fire to an adjacent location with investigators if able. Well, they're not able because there's no investigators and it does move. Then we do eastern winds. Shuffle the leftmost open sky summit for rows 1 and 3 and place them on top of the summit deck. Leftmost. So I think this goes. Pretty sure it goes. So it's going. Those go onto how you can shuffle 2 cards. I've got no idea, but there we go. These then all move across once to the left. Oh, accursed follower. Come to me, and then the bottom card goes there. Oh, sorry, that would have been there. Two cards come in. Okay, then we go to the mythos phase. We put 1 on here. We're at 3 anyway. We're going to flip over. We're going to remove Doom. I'm pretty sure this comes off as well. And then we flip over. 1 resource, so we go up to 3. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded and spawn it in the lead investigations. It doesn't come in exhausted or engaged, unengaged this time, so we're looking for a monster. We've got the monstrous star spawn. And then we flip it back over. Monstrous star spawn. Lovely. 2 fights, 6 health, 2 evade. Hunter, massive, relentless, highest fight. When you reveal an elder thing token while engaged, heal 1 damage from it. 6 health. We draw a card. 1 for Agatha. She's getting cunning mimicry. So there is monsters in play. So we're going to test intellect 3. Intellect 3. I'm 4. We'll chuck in Andy Northwick to make it 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. Yeah, we're happy with that. 6 versus 3. -3. 6 versus 3. We pass. Whoa. Michael gets a star vampire. Oh dear. 4 fight, 5 health, 1 evade. Hunter relentless. Prey most relaying health. After this enemy attacks, heal 1 damage from it. Delightful. Absolutely delightful. Ouch. Okay, we go across to the investigator's turn. Need to pause for a sec. Yeah, I just wanted to check to make sure I've done the right thing removing the Doom of Parasitic, but yeah, from what I can see, all Doom is removed, so that really isn't doing anything anymore. So I don't really need to worry about it. What have we got? This is a problem. Star Spawn and Star Vampire. Right, let's start off with Michael, who's going to draw his illicit deck. He's got a Chicago typewriter and he's got his viola case. Oh, God. Chicago typewriter's 5. I mean, it's brilliant, but got nowhere near the resources. No. Nope. I'm in trouble here. Michael's in trouble. Gotta go for it. So first action, we're going to fight with the automatic against the monstrous Starspawn. So it's fight of 2. I'm 5-6 with the automatic. I'm not chucking anything in it. So 6 versus 2. 0. We've done it. We do 2 damage to it. We gain a resource because that's the first time we've fired with our gun. We're then going to shoot with the Derringer at the monstrous Starspawn. So we are 7 versus 2. 7 versus 2. We get the 0 again. We do 2 damage to it, so it goes up to 4. That was our second action. And our third action is going to be to shoot with the Derringer at the monstrous star spawn. 7 versus 2. Minus X, minus 3. 7 versus 2. Minus 3. 4 versus 2. We still win by 2 or more. We do +1 damage. That's enough to kill it. Done 6 damage to it. Took us 3 turns. And we do get a victory point for it. But we can't do anything about the star vampire. But there we go. It is what it is. Michael done. Poor old Agatha. What is she doing? Didn't flip that. It's got to go to western wind. Sorry. Yeah, because that'll be this lot. That was this lot last time, so western winds. Okay. Need to get rid of this primeval terror. Hitting me for 2 per turn. First action. Emergency cash. Gain 3 resources. Up to 4. Second action. Pay 2. Down to 2. For the art student. We gain a clue. Third action. Investigate using Eyes of the Dreamer. 3 off. Yes, 3 there. We've got an auto fail. We've got a 0. And we have got a -2. So we'll ignore those 2. We'll take the 0, which means we get a clue. That comes online. We have ignored a card this turn. We gain a clue. That's the end of her turn. We can play a spell or an insight card. We will pay 1. For a spectral shield. I'm pretty sure I cleared one there. Sorry, that should be off of Plumb the Depths. That was Agatha's third action. So that was the end of her turn. We go to the enemy phase. Primeval Terror hits me for Agatha for 2. I'll put 1 on the art student, which kills it. And 1 will go onto the Spectral Shield. Play during your turn attached to a player with a card or health. When attached card takes 1 or more damage or horror, cancel 1 of that damage. And the owner of Spectral Shield must remove 1 charge from an asset they control if they cannot discard Spectral Shield. I'll discard an asset off of Expedition Gear. So it's effectively like getting my free heal. Like that. But so we don't discard it. We get hit here. Star Vampire hits for 1. I'll take it. Michael's down 1. That's the end of the enemy phase. We add a token to the Chaos bag. For a cursed follower. Okay. We go to the upkeep phase. We reset our actions. We gain a resource. Agatha's up to 2. Michael's up to 4. Michael draws a card. He gets heavy furs. Agatha draws. I've got a plan. Nice. Very nice. Here we go. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. We go to the top of the mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda. 1 of 3. No, we don't. No, we don't. We do the end of round stuff for Western Wings. Blimey. Okay, draw a card or draw a token. Nope, that's not an Elder Sign. Shuffle the rightmost open sky card on 2 and 4. So we've just got 2. So the right one goes on top. That does this. That doesn't move. And so we then put the bottom card there. I think that's 3. Then we go to the mythos phase. We put 1 of 3 on the agenda. Agatha draws a card. Agatha draws Wings of Terror. Put into play in your threat area. After you fail a skill test, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded. Either draw that enemy or that enemy attacks you from the discard pile. Then discard Wings of Terror. Michael's going to get a card. He's got Cyclopean Architecture. Test. Oh, God. Intellect. 3 versus 1. For each point you fail by, choose and discard a card from your hand. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a tricky one. I'm 1. And I've got nothing against it. Agatha is not going to chuck that in, and she's not going to chuck that in. So it's 1 versus 3. -3. So I lose by 3. So I get rid of Those 3 cards. My automatic's gone. Oh dear. Oh dearie dearie. But that's Cyclopean architecture gone. Right. Okay. Our turn. Our turn. We're looking for the floating spire. What are we doing? What are we doing? I think I'm going to go with Agatha first. Now this is going to be a bit of a risk. She is going to play, I'll pay 2 to play I've Got a Plan. And she's going to target the Star Vampire. Now if she misses, she's going to do 4 damage to Michael. So she's 4 it's 4 versus 4. Hang on a second. Whoa. Let's have a think about this. 4 versus 4. Jesus. No, it's 6 versus 4. Okay. We're going all in. We're going all in to do some damage on the Star Vampire. First action. Gain a resource. Up to 3. Second action. Down to 2. Play the mouse mask. Remembering if I fail a skill terror, if I fail a test here, Wings of Terror is going to kick in. Mouse mask comes in with 2 offerings on it. Third action. Pay 2. To play I've Got a Plan. I'm going to remove one of these offerings from the mouse mask. So I'm now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 versus 4 against the Star Vampire. Eight versus 4 against the Star Vampire. -1. We hit it. We do 4 damage to it because I've got 3 clues. It's +3 damage maximum. 1 damage is normal, +3 is 4. Excellent. I've Got a Plan goes. We didn't fail the skill test, and Primeval Terror doesn't do attacks of opportunity. Oh, lovely. Lovely jubbly. That's Agatha gone. Michael's turn. He draws his Underworld deck. He gets a Liquid Courage or a Derringer. Or we will pay 1 to take the Derringer. Liquid courage goes to the bottom. We will pay 3 using fence to play our Derringer. It's an illicit card, so it gets fast to replace our empty automatic. No, to replace the empty Derringer. I don't know why I'd do that, because they're the same card. Comes in with 3 ammo. 1, 2, 3. First action, we'll use ammo off of the Derringer, which means we get a resource because of Michael's ability. We're going to shoot the Star Vampire. So we are 7 versus 4. Nothing else I can chuck into it. 7 versus 4. Seven versus 4 plus 1. We do 2 damage to it. Doesn't make the difference. We only need to do 1. That kills the Star Vampire. Victory display. That was our first action. Second action. Do I risk it and shoot the primeval terror whilst it's engaged with Agatha? Yeah. Yeah, why not? Second action is to shoot the primeval terror that's engaged with Agatha. So 5, 6, 7. I'll use the ammo from the Derringer. So 7 versus 2. Seven versus 2. Minus 4. 3 versus 2. We only do 1 damage to it. We didn't beat it by 2. So I'm going to have to use my third action with the Derringer. 7 versus 2 again. 0. We do plus 2 damage to it. Doesn't make any difference. We only needed to do 1. Primeval Terror goes. That's it for Michael. We go to the enemy phase. No enemies in play, but we've got the cursed follower. That goes in the chaos bag at the end of the enemy phase. We go to the upkeep phase. Get our actions back. We gained a resource. Agatha's going to 1. Michael's going to 2. Michael's drawing a card. He's getting quick thinking. Agatha's getting promise of power. We're all right for cards. The end of the round, we do Western Winds. Draw a token. It is not an Elder Sign, so we're going to activate Western Winds. 2 and 4. the rightmost open sky card. So that one goes to there. These all move across. And we draw a card from underneath there. I think that's 4 cards we've put in. We then flip to Eastern Winds. Go to the top of the Mythos phase. We put 2 Doom with 3 on. Agatha draws a card. She's getting Corrosive Fog. Test intellect or fight 4. If you fail, take 1 damage. If you fail by 3 or more, take 1 direct damage to your investigator and each ally and asset item you control with health. Right. 4. I'm 4 versus 4. No, I'm going to stick with that. 4 versus 4. It's the hero. We pass. We pass. Corrosive Fog goes. Michael draws a card. He gets Elder Mist. That's annoying. -1 to our stats. If we discard, we win by 2 or more, then we can discard it. Worse cards in there. Right. We go across to the investigator phase. I think Agatha's going first. She's going to investigate. She's going to use her mouse mask to take her to 6 versus 3. I am going to play a Promise of Power. Put another curse token in. So we are now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 versus 3. 10 versus 3. -4. We put in 6 versus 3. We pass. Nine versus 3 actually, -4. We still 9 versus 3 takes us down to 5 versus 3. We still beat it by 2 or more, so Elder Mist goes. And we get the clue. That was our first action. Second action, I'm going to spend these 4 clues to reveal the bottom 4 cards of the deck, of the Summit deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for the floating spire. It's not there. It's not there. You may put 1 revealed location into play. Hmm. No, they're going to go on top. Might have mucked that up. Anyway. Third action. Agatha's going to attempt to move to this summit. Or actually, hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Actually, no, I am going to put the aerial waterfall into play up there. Comes in with 2 clues on it. Agatha's going to move up there. That's it for Agatha. Michael. Draw his underworld deck. He's going to get a Thompson, or he's going to get an automatic. Got no guns now, so he needs one of these. I'll take the Thompson for 1. I'm going to exhaust Ruby. There are no ready enemies at... Oh, we removed... We revealed a location. Michael's going to exhaust Ruby to move to the aerial waterfall, just to be with Agatha. Oh, after an enemy engages you, so 2 actions. I'm going to remove parasitic transformation, get rid of that. Third action, gain a resource. That's it for Michael. Okay. Enemy phase. No enemies in play. At the end of the accursed follower, puts a curse token into the bag. Upkeep phase. We get our actions back. Agatha gains a resource to 2. Michael gains a resource to 3. Michael's going to draw a card. He's going to draw Crack Shot. Agatha's going to draw a shortcut. top of the mythos phase, we put a mythos 3 of 3. So we're gonna struggle here. Add a resource, so we're now at 4. Once we get to 6, we're defeated. Discard top of the encounter deck until we get an enemy. Elder Mist. Star Vampire. It's engaged with our lead investigator. It's 3 or more, so it comes in engaged. And then we flip the agenda. Another Star Vampire with nothing. Oh, that's going to hurt. Agatha draws her card. She gets Corrosive Fog. Corrosive Fog. Test intellect 4. We are 4. Can't do anything with that. We will spend a resource off of Mouse Mask to make us 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. -2. 4 versus 4. We passed just. That was handy because otherwise Wings of Terror would have kicked in. And then Michael's going to get Crumbling Masonry. Of course he does. Agility 3, 4. And Shroud is 4, I think. Shroud is 4. So we're 4 versus 4 with some agility. We'll play a quick thinking just to give us the pip. So it's 5 versus 4. 5 versus 4. -4. We fail. So quick thinking goes. Take 2 damage. Down to 4. 1, 2. Crumbling Masonry goes. Our turn. Agatha, what are you doing? You're not really getting the clues today. Where's my fingerprint kit? Where's my magnifying glass? We'll be going 4 versus 4. Nothing that I can do. And we have to worry about Wings of Terror now, because after we fail a skill test, we're going to discard a card until the enemy is discarded. And then it either attacks us or we draw it. And clearly just it attacking would be okay. Well, not okay, but that would be the thing to do. I should have waited. I need the Obsidian Claw now, really. Michael's got empty guns. And facing down a Star Vampire. So let's start off with Michael. He's going to draw his Underworld. Let's see what he gets. He's got his automatic. the exhausted one or another Thompson. I think we've already got a Thompson or a Chicago typewriter. We've got a Thompson, so there's no point in that. I haven't got the resources to pay for it. It's 5. I've only got 3. I think we're just going to have to punch the Star Vampire 3 times. Not a lot else I can do. It'll be 5 versus 4. Can't commit crack shot, and I don't want to commit the Thompson. Right, first action. Fight. Star Vampire. 5 versus 4. 5 versus 4. -4. If it fails, place 1 doom on the nearest enemy. We fail. We put a doom on the Star Vampire. Second action, fight. 5 versus 4. Elder sign. -2. If there is an enemy in your location, reveal another token. We've already failed, but there we go. Third action, fight against the Star Vampire. 5 versus 4. Oh, Jesus. Wow. This is getting tricky now. Getting tricky. It's basically going to lose this. Well, not lose us, but it's just basically going to flip us over and lose us a turn on the storm. That is what it is. So that's Michael done. Agatha. We will investigate. Are we going to go 4 versus 4? Let's draw a card. First action. Draw a card. Let's see what we get. We've got a Dr. Milan, who's 4. Second 2 actions, gain 2 resources to take me up to 4. That's it. That's it for Agatha. Enemy phase. We get attacked by the Star Vampire. Hits me for 1. I'll take it down to 3. I don't really want to kill Ruby at this point. We put a curse token in the bag. I think I've literally run out of curse tokens now, so there's no more going in the bag. We go to the upkeep phase, reset our actions back to 0. Agatha gains a resource up to 5. Michael gains a resource up to 4. Michael draws a card. He gets crack shot. Agatha draws a card. She gets crack the case. Not great. But it's a pip. We go to the mythos phase. We put a doom, 1 doom on the agenda. But because we drew 2 Star Vampire cultist tokens, we are going to flip. So those go. We go up to Storm Intensity 5. And Michael draws a card until he gets an enemy. St. Elmo's Fire. Cyclopean Architecture. Well, it's going pretty well there to start off with, but okay. And then we're going to draw a Corrosive Fog, an Elder Mist, and St. Elmo's Fire, Cyclopean, Primeval Terror. Michael draws that. Should have done Eastern Winds. My apologies. Eastern Winds. We draw a token. It's not the elder sign, so we're going to do it. So 1 and 3. Leftmost. Oh, 1 and 3. Oh, okay. Ouch. Bugger. Right. Let's have a look. Right, I knew I'd read it somewhere. So what we're doing is we're moving leftmost 1 and 3, which we're at. When investigators would leave play, move that investigator to any central location and they take 2 direct damage. So they both come down to here. Agatha's down to 2. Michael's down to 1. 1, 2, 1, 2. I take it their monsters and that go with them. Each enemy token and attachment at those locations and open sky are discarded. Each enemy token. Shuffle the leftmost open sky or summit locations, rows 1 and 3, and place them on top of the summit deck, or place them in the victory display if they have victory X and no clues on them. They don't. Each enemy token and attachment at those locations, stroke open skies, are discarded. When investigators would leave play, so that they're gonna go. That's what it's telling me to do. They're going. That one goes. That one goes. They go on top of the summit deck. These move across. And then we place 1, 2. That primeval terror would stay, actually, because it would have come in the mythos phase, which is what we've just done. Yeah, that was the Star Vampire would have gone, but the Primeval Terror I pulled because of marking the agenda. Okay, Agatha draws a card. She gets Corrosive Fog. Testing Intellect 4. So I don't want to take one direct damage. So I'll play Milan and crack the case to make it 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. Oh. Right, a number of things are going to happen here. 6 versus 4. First of all, that is -2. Oh, no, 6 versus 4. If there's an enemy at your location, which there is, reveal another token. So that's 6 versus 4 -3. We fail. 1 direct damage to each ally and asset you control with health. So that's that. Go down to 1. Then, because we've drawn this... Oh, no. No, it's only the occultist and the... that's fine. But we did fail. Discard cards until an enemy is discarded. It then either attacks you or you draw it. So we've got an enemy. Come on. Where's the enemies? God, is there any enemies left in there? Primeval Terror. We're going to have to draw it. We can't have it attack us. Then we discard Wings of Terror. Those go back into the bag. And then we draw, oh God, Crumbling Masonry for Michael. It's 4 versus 3. 4 versus 3. It's 3 here, 4 there. 4 versus 3. I'm going to have to chuck the Thompson in to make it 5 versus 3. Otherwise, I'm going to take 2 damage. 5 versus 3. -4. We place the Doom on an enemy. Not that it's going to make any difference. We take 2 damage. We put 1 onto Ruby, which kills her. And we put 1 onto Michael, which kills him, down to 0. Ah, right. Okay, Michael's gone. Michael's dead. Michael is deaded. And the Primeval Terror becomes engaged with Agatha. Not aloof. It's not aloof. Agatha's turn. Well, her only option is to try and evade these two primeval terrors and then get the hell out of there. I think we're delaying the inevitable, but let's try it anyway. So first action, she'll try and avoid this primeval terror. She'll chuck a shortcut in to make her 4 versus 2. 4 versus 2. Four versus 2. Oh, there was Doom on that one. 4 versus 2. -4, we fail, and we place a Doom on the nearest primeval terror. That one there. Second action. Same thing, 3 versus 2. -5. Third action. Evade. -2. -6. Wow. That chaos bag just ripped me apart. We go to the enemy phase. She takes 4 damage from primeval terror and dies. Okay. Alrighty. So, defeated and defeated. Let's see what we say. Okay, if no resolution was received, each investigator was defeated. The poisonous gales howl through the blackstone corridors of the ancient city with all the force of a hurricane, as you're battered on all sides by stinging sharp winds. The acrid vapours make your head spin with unsettling visions. The unearthly weather patterns seem to blow from somewhere from beyond, from an undimensional plane of existence. You awaken to see your companions gathered around you. As they help you to your feet, you turn away from the brilliant skyline and the churning clouds. You have no memory of passing out. How did you even get here? In your campaign log, cross out Obsidian Canyons. Obsidian Canyons is crossed out. Each investigator must search their collection for a random madness or omen basic weakness and add it to their deck for the remainder of the campaign. Bear with me. Okay. These are all my omen and madness weakness cards. We'll give them a good old shuffle. And we'll draw a Catweasel cut, and that is Agatha's, and we'll do another Catweasel cut, and that is Michael's. Agatha has got Panic. Put Panic into your threat area. Panic can be healed as if it were a single point of horror on you. If it's healed, it's discarded. After you play, engage, or resource action, you cannot take any of those types of actions for the remainder of the turn. And Michael's getting Chronophobia. Put Chronophobia into your play, into your threat area. At the end of your turn, take 1 direct horror. Discard 2 actions to discard Chronophobia. Blimey. Okay. That's that done. We'll put those there. That can go there. If the investigators prove your worth, which we don't, we get 3 victory points. That's it. So 3 XP. We spent 6, so we're now at 4. And Michael is at 3. We go to the Sepulchre of the Sleeper, page 38. There we go. So next turn, next one is Sepulchre of the Sleeper. Yeah. I don't think I played particularly well in that. Yeah, I need to have a think about this one. Anyway, really appreciate your thoughts and comments. Did I play well? Didn't I play well? What mistakes did I made? Was I a complete noob, or was it just the chaos bag and the draws of the cards that done me over, as per usual? But we will see. We're off to the Sepulchre of the Sleeper next time round. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and ta-ra for now.